Hola, amigos. So I got caught in a very strange situation. And basically, I wanted to shed a little light on the research that I'm doing and the reading of what I'm doing in accordance to helping eliminate the ignorance, if that makes any sense. I'll give you guys a good example. Say for instance, you guys who smoke, or I'll give three examples. Say if you smoke, right? You pull it out of your box, you hand it to someone, they put it to the face. You've already transferred either H-CoV-2 or SARS-CoV-2. H H-CoV is basically no symptoms, no signs, but it already probably has had an effect on your body, which therefore your body has something. So if you already have a condition, pre-existing condition, it's probably due to having H-CoV already. Those who haven't developed H-CoV, you fall into the sudden SARS-CoV-2, which from the nasal, it goes backwards. So for instance, let's say if I had essential oils and I'm at a store and I touch this and I smell, I had just transferred. If someone had touched this during their time of infection of the COVID-19 situation, when you smell this and it's essential oils, it now has went through my nasal and it is behind my throat before it gets down to my lower throat. So that I just wanted to basically just express it and put it out that there is a mass delusion and accusations, and the media has a problem with explaining things, because when I saw that there's this, it's through semen, and someone was like, you know, immediately people were starting to point the finger and say, you're sleeping around. But that's really not the case, because we want to think that this COVID-19 situation, there's 7 different types of it, and we've only been exposed to 2. But it's only between the nose and above the throat. So the only way that anybody could possibly have contracted something, I have to use a positive example. Say, for example, I have one of these nasal inhalers. Let's say, if you guys get what I'm saying, I have a nasal inhaler. And if the nasal inhaler is up here, I pull this out and I transfer it to someone else. They use the nasal inhaler. It's in the same tract. So therefore, the mucus that was in my nose is on the object. So that's how you transfer this one of the 7 types of the COVID-19. The reason why they classify it COVID-19 is because it is a nasal respiratory only, and then it goes into a severe instant respiratory. For what I know, I was basically, to tell the very truth of everyone, I was at a store and grabbed one of these Thursday afternoon on my way back from walking on the train. So yeah, my immune system was probably a little bit vulnerable because I was on a train from downtown LA, but grabbed an item, kind of sort of like this. Already being vulnerable to the conditions, not wearing protective gear on my hands, such as it's now on my hands. And you know how we touch our face. I've already so there's so many different possibilities that we don't really know. Say, for example, I have CBD that I bought from a general store 3 days ago. So the window period of SARS-CoV-2 is literally, it takes 3 hours up to 3 days for it to start and finish. So if you backtrack, the best way to backtrack is to text message people that if you cross paths with, let's say you hung out with someone or you made out with somebody, you kissed them, you can backtrack by having everyone you crossed get tested. And if they all come back with results negative, then you've just basically done your part. It's really not the matter of if you get it, it's the matter of when, because everyone's going to have it. But there's two different versions. H-CoV means that you've already been exposed to it a long time ago. You basically are not symptomatic of the SARS-CoV-2. If you are symptomatic of SARS-CoV-2, basically you didn't have been exposed to that. Your body didn't build antibodies. So when someone builds antibodies to it, that's the quarantine process. You built the antibodies, therefore it can't leave your body and transfer to someone else. So that's just to help everyone clarify what it means to quarantine yourself, or when you wear a mask, such as this is like a traveling quarantine. So it only stays within your own respiratory tract. But the problem is, let's say, for instance, you smoked a cigarette that you borrowed from a friend. You put on a mask. You have now trapped that transfer of the person's mucous membranes or sweat glands. It's now on the mask and it's growing. And if this isn't sanitized or thrown away or put in a plastic bag and thrown away, it's the virus is still alive. The resin is still alive. Say, for example, you use a glove. The glove does nothing. This is what the nurses told me at the hospital. The glove basically allows you to touch something for only that 5 seconds before you touch yourself or something else. So, for example, let's say I put on a glove. I have to sanitize first in order for this to be valid. If I don't wash my hands or sanitize, I just expose the glove. And this glove, let's say that I'm at a general store and I touch an item with the glove. The mucous membranes, or the sweat, you guys know what I'm talking about, the melanin, the things that go through our pores and they moisturize. This is why I was really an advocate of, like, don't put on lotion. Be dry and ashy right now until anyway, that's how you flatten the curve. Case in fact, too, if you have tablets at home, you see how greasy they are. You don't know how long it's been since you've been exposed with a glove in public. Let's say you were on a train errand, and then when you got off the train, you tapped your tablet, you're reading emails, you take the glove off. Whether I took the glove off and put it on and put it in the trash can, I still expose it to the trash can. So anytime, it's just not a matter of how. It's just a matter of when. This is basically what I'm trying to say. Another example, the last one I have for everybody. And this inspired me because There was an article that came out that said SARS-CoV-2 was found in the semen of COVID-19 patients. So if someone is COVID-19 positive, it just means that your body has not built antibodies to build immunity to handle SARS-CoV-2. Therefore, the melanin in your head travels down your spine. It's stuck at the sacral area, right? It's stuck in the sexual. What's the word I'm trying to say? What's the R word? When you're trying to make babies, you guys know what I'm talking about. Reproduction. It gets stuck in the reproduction area. So actually, that's probably a good sign that tells you if you are in a Kundalini awakening or you're in a ascension process, you know where you're at right now, right? We're in the center before we ascend. Spiritualist here. But last example, if you have a candle, let's say you go to Rite Aid. You're like, oh, that's a cute candle. See that? Even this distance here, me going in, still, I have touched it with my hands, right? Then the next person grabs it and touches this, or they smell it. They have now taken the resin of what they touched and it went through the nasal. So anything COVID-19 related has to go this way and down. It doesn't go this way and down. There's two different tubes. The mouth basically is ingested by the diaphragm, by the toxins in the stomach. This is why we always say singers sing from your diaphragm, right? Anything from your nose, I don't know anything that can travel up your nose. I've been telling people, I was telling people sperm cannot travel up your nose. So please, people, use common sense. Sperm and semen does not, it doesn't know how to go in your nose, and it doesn't know how to go. Moving on. Anyways, you guys have a wonderful day.